We're rolling here.
Gut-friendly benefits.
Yes.
Drink
that stuff is fire, actually.
Brew Doctor kombucha. I don't know where to look. The awkward part.
Yeah. Even with my best friend since I've known since we were 4, we were both like,
What do I do? What do I do?
yeah. Hello, everybody. In this podcast, I will be interviewing Josh Pircey, a dedicated bodybuilder and full-time land surveyor who has managed to build and maintain an insane physique at 26. All while working early mornings and making time for motorcycling, relationships, and growing his social media presence on Instagram and more recently, YouTube. He has competed in bodybuilding and represents the men who strive to excel in all aspects of life. I first met Josh through a family friend a couple years ago at Blackjack during a mutual friend gathering where he gave me some of his chips so I could keep playing. There's a quote that says, "People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." That small gesture stuck with me. Seeing his journey on Instagram has been inspiring, and I know many young men will find his story and routine just as motivating. Thanks for coming on.
That's dope. Thanks for having me.
Sweet.
Let's get into it then.
Let's do it. Alrighty. Can you give us a quick intro about yourself, fitness journey, land surveying, and hobbies?
Yeah.
Mainly land surveying for this.
Mainly land surveying.
Yeah.
Okay. So I started working land surveying, which, if you don't know, that deals a lot with property. So boundaries and mapping and construction, that whole realm of things. We're usually the first people there. We survey the land, we make a map, we send it back to architects and engineers, and then they start designing based off of that.
Okay.
When they come up with a plan and what they want to do with the land, then they send us back the information and we start laying it out. So we start with building corners and whatever the structure is that they want, and they go from there. And then we'll continually check in week by week and slowly watch a building grow from the dirt.
Nice.
Just so you know that it's not me walking around knocking on doors doing surveys, but
yeah.
I originally got into that through a Bible study. I'd been going to the Bible study basically my whole life, but my teacher, when I was, 15, is now my boss. And one Monday night, he was like, "Hey, like, you're getting to that age. If you want a job, you should come work for me. We'll work a Saturday, and if you like it, you can keep coming back." So I worked a Saturday, and he handed me $100, and I was looking at $100 at 15 years old, like, whoa, I could do so much with this. I want more of it. So I kept coming back. And then, I don't know, a couple weeks later, he was like, "I'd like to hire you." And now we're 9.5 years in.
Dope.
So, yeah, no, it's been a crazy, weird, like, journey and meshing life and school and learning how to work and what that means for me.
And the hours are kind of intensive too, right?
The hours, it's kind of strange. I mean, I'm up at 5:15ish every morning and go in, and whenever I'm done with the day's task is when I get to go home. So that could be anywhere from 10 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock at night, which can be pretty hard to manage and work with when, you want to have a life and you have other obligations or priorities to deal with. And especially when you're trying to plan stuff, because it's like, "Hey, let's meet up at 4. And I'm like, well, I could be done in an hour, or I could be done in 4 hours. Like, I don't know. So it's kind of made it hard or more difficult to plan ahead or plan out, my afternoons, where usually it's you work from 8 to 2 or, whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's I've been blessed with the job, to say the absolute least. I've learned a lot, and have progressed a lot and will continue to do so.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And so you work out after work, usually.
Yeah.
Nice.
99% of the time, yeah.
Nice. How long have you been in the gym?
I started working out with sports.
Oh, okay.
So high school, I was playing football and I'd have gym time. So started with sports, mostly through football. I'd have like a weightlifting session or whatever. So I'd get 30 minutes, whatever, in the gym.
Okay. High school sports, right?
High school sports.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you grow up skating, surfing, any of that stuff?
Not really, to be honest.
Okay.
I did more like the hiking, rock climbing kind of aspect of life, or mountain biking, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
And what
I've
would you
always
say your
been
hobbies
active.
are right now?
Right now, it's mostly the gym.
Okay.
Outside of that, I still do rock climb a little bit.
Okay.
Not anywhere near as frequently as I used to.
Right.
I game a little bit.
Oh, wow.
I snowboard.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, that's the most recent
Sick.
hobby. That started kind of last year. But
do you consider motorcycling a hobby, or is that a lifestyle?
I treat it more like a hobby.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of people who would consider it a lifestyle.
Yeah.
But it's also easy to say that about the gym or anything else. Like whatever you dedicate the majority of your time to kind of is lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever that is, I guess, a part of that realm. But
okay.
For me, I would say motorcycling is more of a hobby at this point in my life.
Mm-hmm. And how old were you when you started taking the gym seriously?
That would be post-college. I was 20 years old. No. Taking it actually seriously? I was 22. I was freshly broken up with. I had no idea what to do with my time. I had no way to vent. I had no way to release. And I'm pretty sure it was within the first week that I had my first like awakening in the gym of like, I need to be here. Like I have to be here when I'm done with my day, or else I'm going to just start going crazy. Like I didn't know how to manage my emotions or even organize thoughts properly. It was just a giant mess, and the gym silenced that.
Yeah.
Like I was able to focus. I was able to, I'm here to do back. I'm here to work out.
Yeah.
So let's hit this as best I can and as hard as I can.
So you got into it for the mental clarity kind of therapy aspects.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what keeps you motivated today?
There's a couple things. The first would probably be just to set an example.
Yeah.
For my brother, close friends.
Yeah.
Just because, like, from that aspect, it's like I found such peace here, and I was able to focus and give myself a direction.
Yeah.
And I think that it would be good for others to also be able to experience that at some point.
Exactly.
Let alone for the fact that it builds yourself up. Like I am in the process of refining and building my own body.
Yeah.
Which is such a cool
it also helps that it's really fun too.
Oh yeah. No, it's awesome.
Yeah. Like you're probably someone that doesn't even need to be motivated. That's like a lot of us are. It's kind of just what we do now, you know.
So. Motivation is such a fickle thing for me.
Yeah.
Because it's so fleeting.
Yeah.
Like there's moments where I'm motivated to clean my room.
Yeah.
And then there's others, the majority of the time, that I'm like, I don't need to do this. Like, pile of clothes, I can stay there.
Yeah.
I think what it comes down to is more of the discipline aspect of like, I don't want to do this now, but I know I need to.
Yeah.
And I think that tracks with a lot of other things in our lives. Like,
I
don't want to go to work, but I know I need to. I don't want to wake up today, but I know I need to.
Yeah.
I don't want to fold my laundry and put it away.
Yeah.
But I need to. And I think for men especially, that ends up boiling into a sense of fatherhood too. Like, I'm here to provide. I'm here to take care of my family. Today, I really don't want to wake up and go to work, but if I don't, there's a consequence for that.
Right.
So I think just in that aspect alone, it's valuable because you're starting to build discipline early on. And I think that just is going to foster betterment overall, especially in your future. But
Yeah, I align with those reasons too. Now that I'm 22, a big reason for me is I'll be too tired after work if I don't go. So like I have a lot of coworkers that'll be like, "Oh, like I'm too tired to go to the gym."
Yeah.
And my answer is always, "You're tired because you're not going to the gym." You know,
Yeah.
like it'll kind of wake you up, the caffeine.
Oh yeah.
Being around all the people. So yeah, I just wanted to share that.
Well, fun fact also, like when you do go to the gym,
Yeah.
all you're doing like on a base level is circulating blood. So already that's activating or reactivating your brain, right? So you're going to be more cognitive. You're going to function better.
Interesting.
Your muscles over time, that blood flow grows more stale. So you're just refreshing your body with energy.
Yeah.
But I found also just like I literally yesterday, I worked 13 hours. I'm sitting in my car driving home like, I don't need to go. I'm just going to shower and relax, watch a show, go to bed. But then there's something else on the side that's like, no, you're going. No. You have to go.
Yeah.
Like, this is the life you've chosen. This is what you want to do.
Yeah.
And for you to back out now is like, I say I want to get better. I say I want to grow more. I say I want to do these things. But me not going is doing the exact opposite of that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm excited for this question. This is like why I brought you on, honestly.
Okay.
How do you balance a full-time job, but specifically with early mornings, and then the fitness, and then not only just going to the gym, because a lot of people do that, but you've like, you're competing, and then it appears like you have a social life on top of that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this guy's got top-tier time management.
I think for me, it boils down to just a hierarchy of what I value. And I am a firm believer that you can do any and everything that you put your mind to. So how that looks is, for the most part, it's just sacrifice. The biggest thing for the bodybuilding that I went through was learning how to say no. So my priority during that was, I need to work, I need to train, I need to eat. And those are my top three. So I scheduled in time to do those three main things. Anything that came after that, bonus.
Yeah.
And that's where the discipline comes in, because I can't do everything all the time. And if I did, I wouldn't progress in any one of those areas.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, it was work. I had to wake up early. What does that mean? I need to go to bed early. So my days would start the night before.
Yeah.
I would start getting ready for bed at 8 o'clock. I would get my last meal in by 9. I'd be in bed by 9:30 and I'd be sleeping by 10. So that I'd wake up with 8 hours of sleep, ready to start my next day.
Yeah.
And one of my biggest setbacks was early on, so it was good. I learned from it, but I stayed up till like 1 a.m. And then I had to wake up at 5.
Yeah. I've been there.
And I felt that so hard. Like driving to work, I'm like dozing off. Like
I do that a lot. Actually.
Yeah, bro. Like you realize you learn from your mistakes, but you also learn to manage your time, but also your activities. Like if I stay up late, or if I go to the gym late and I have pre in my system, I'm not going to sleep till 11 or 12.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing again was just being able to say no to extra and formulate a routine that works for me the best.
Yeah.
And it saves you time, it saves you energy, it saves you stress. And what's the other part of that too? Because I only trained 5 days a week, so it was also just using my rest days well too. My Saturdays and my Sundays. It was like, these are the days that you get to fill in all the extra stuff. Like if it was going to the beach or going on a hike or hanging out with friends, whatever it was. It was my Monday through Friday is to work. And that's what I did. I worked at the gym. I got home, I worked on myself with the food, everything else. And Saturday and Sunday, I can chill.
Nice.
I can fill in that extra time.
How long have you had that system where it was just like you had those 3 priorities
That was
and everything you said?
literally this past year.
Oh, okay.
Literally the past year is when I stuck to it enough to actually call it a system.
Yeah.
Without that, I wouldn't have made it through.
Yeah.
But in the past, it's just been like, oh, whatever I want to do the most after work.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
What is the toughest challenge you faced in your fitness journey, and how did you overcome it?
I think, well, I have 2 that like majorly stick out.
Mm-hmm.
One is recent, the other one was more in the past. I think I reached a point where I felt like I'd plateaued and I was stuck.
Yeah.
I wasn't getting better. My lifts weren't going up. And I was starting to lose a lot of the motivation aspect.
How old?
I was 22, 23, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely 23.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sitting there and I'm like, I can't do any better than I've already done.
Yeah.
I'm not going to grow any more than I have.
Yeah.
My lifts haven't changed, so I'm doing something wrong.
That's kind of where I'm at, to be honest.
And it's just it was so like confining, and it felt restrictive.
Yeah.
Like I felt like I had a boulder on my chest and I was just stuck there.
Yeah.
And it was frustrating because I had started to foster this love and passion for the gym, and then it was the one thing that felt like it was dragging me down.
Mm.
So that was the hurt, or that was the setback. And my fix, I took 2 months off.
Okay.
And I really set my mind on why I enjoyed it, why I was there. So I redefined my purpose of being in the gym. And since it had stemmed from pain, it was a weird kind of experience, because my initial reason for being there was just had my heart broken. And I needed it for clarity.
Yeah.
So then I was looking into that, like, okay, so am I plateauing? Am I stuck because I have a clear vision of what I want now? So is my purpose gone for being in the gym? Like, is my time in the gym done now?
Yeah.
So I started thinking on that side, and I realized that I enjoyed the gym for being in the gym. I enjoyed being here because I felt better. I started looking better. I started gaining confidence in myself as who I was, and the build that I had literally forged. Like, and it kind of re-inspired me of like, I'm on this endless journey of growth.
Yeah.
And I think the final resolution to that is that I can grow both physically, but I can also grow mentally. And I can also grow spiritually. So it was a melding of those 3 things that kind of reignited or re-inspired me to get back in and hit it with everything I have.
Yeah. Dude, that's sick. Yeah, because you, like, growing up, you didn't naturally put on weight easily.
No.
Right? Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. High school, I was 6'2", 160 pounds.
Wow.
Which to some people are going to be like, oh, 160.
Yeah.
Bro, at 6'2", I look like a stick.
I feel like when people
I was tiny.
see guys like you in the gym, because you're 6'2", 6'3" now? 6'3"? Nice.
Yeah, 6'3".
And, you got, like, big old muscles. You kind of just assume, like, oh, they've always been this way.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when I was, like, doing background for this podcast and, like, looking into you, I was, like, looking on, like, your profile, and I was like, dang, like, just, like, I mean, like, probably, like, 5 years ago, you looked a lot different.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, man, like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And the other thing that's cool too, and this is what I was trying to remember earlier, is how, people like you, people like my brother, and I'm even proud of myself, in this kind of way too, is like, because I never put on weight naturally, easily either. I mean, I'm not tall, but I had to work for everything I had, like a lot. And I also went to college full time, and worked full time the last like 4 years. And so what interests me is when I see people that I can relate to, and what I'm talking about is people who are making progress in the gym, like you said, but they also have a lot on their plate and a lot of responsibilities.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we're the community that's consuming like, you know, gym influencing content.
Right.
But a lot of times it doesn't seem like these guys have much going on.
Have anything going on.
And maybe they do. Maybe they do.
Right.
And like we're just not seeing it.
Yeah,
and that's probably the case in a lot of cases. But
right.
they do hit a level where you can kind of tell like they're not waking up at 5 a.m. to go land surveying. Like they're not waking up at 4:45 to go to the airport.
Right.
And are they going to college, you know? And so
exactly.
And I mean, good for them. But I think, I think that's something that is overlooked. It's like they have this physique,
right,
and they're doing all of this. Like, okay, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, it's actually cool. The social media aspect of things, the influencer world. I dipped my toes in over my bodybuilding competition, and it was like, oh, this is cool. Like, my original intention was I want to document this for myself. I can look back on this 20 years from now and be like, dude, I used to look sick.
Yeah.
Now I'm just a fat old guy.
That's exactly why I post too.
Oh yeah. No, it's so much more genuine, at least to me. But I started falling into the trap of influencer. Yeah. And it's like, you know, you get those first couple comments of like, dude, you look sick. Yeah. And I'm like, I look sick. Yeah. And I just wanted to keep doing it, posting.
You've had a couple clips go viral too.
I had a couple big ones.
Like 2.6 mil on that one.
Yeah.
And it asked the question.
Yeah, bro.
I remember seeing that.
It was such a glitch, man. It's like a 0.5 second little sound bit or whatever. Yeah. But I had a couple that went pretty big.
Yeah.
But I didn't gain anything from it, which I'm okay with. Yeah. But I've also met a lot of pretty big influencers too that have become really close friends. So
nice.
Seeing like the social media side, I post the good things. I post when I look the best. I post when I feel the best or whatever, like my accomplishments. I get a post on my big moments. Yeah. One of my biggest takeaways from my show as I'm posting all this stuff was life is not about these big moments. Life is not about social media, because everywhere you go, every time you scroll, you're saying, I bought this new car, I did all these good things, I have all this money, I have the most beautiful woman or the most handsome man or whatever it might be. And you see all the good, you see all the, oh, my life is so great. And we suck it up, we absorb it all, because we live in our own reality that is filled with not just good. You know, you have parents under divorce, you have family members dying, friends dying, you have work that you don't want to be there, you don't want to take part in. Like, how are people making all this money and I'm stuck in my 9 to 5 and I want to be a part of this elite group of whatever. Like, why can't I get there? Yeah. And I feel like we oftentimes we start comparing our lives. Like, oh, he's there. Why am I not there? This kid's 18 making $5 million a year. Yeah. Why am I not doing that at 26? Yeah. And we allow ourselves to fall into this depression of, I'm not enough. Yeah. But my show, part of what I love taking away from the show is that, you know, I got to stand on a stage in front of hundreds of people, being live streamed to thousands of people. And I got to show my best in that moment. Yeah. And it was such a big feeling for me of like, I was so nervous. I stepped out on stage, all was gone. It was just me in my head and standing on a stage doing the things that I practiced doing for 6 months. Yeah. And stepping off that stage, it was like getting hit by life again. Of like, whoa, like this moment was so big and so powerful for me. And now I'm back into reality. And it's the thing that I took away from that is that life isn't about these big moments. These big moments are cause for celebration. They're a cause for, getting people together and having that community and bonding through that.
Yeah.
But your life is lived through all the small moments.
Dude,
for me,
real.
it's the 6 months of work it took to get to where I was.
For real.
It was the sleepless nights and early mornings and working 17 hours of my day to bring this package to a stage.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was one of my biggest takeaways from posting and the whole competition and all that.
The whole comparing yourself, but specifically to people younger than you. I feel that.
Mm-hmm.
Because like we're in our 20s now, and I kind of felt that when I turned 22, and then it's like, oh wow, like there's 17-year-olds making $5 million, and I'm sure it only gets worse, and it'll never go away. And yeah, you really just got to ask yourself, like, do I really want to constantly be chasing like these highlight reels? I mean, like, I love adventure, and I'm sure you do too. But a lot of it does, like, that unhappiness stems from comparing yourself. Like, sometimes I'll have to look back. Like at the end of the year, I'll look back at my camera roll, and I'll think like, dang, I didn't even like do that much stuff. Like Jay Alvarez was like in like 30 countries, and this kid was like in Dubai.
And with that, the 2024 season, and you're like watching, like how did you do all this?
But then when you look back at your stuff, you start to realize like I did a lot of stuff too. Now that's why posting is fun. Is because, at least for me, it kind of helps me like remember like, oh yeah, that was January, I did that.
Right.
And without social media, like we wouldn't really have that. So
it's true.
We wouldn't be comparing, but we also wouldn't get to see. So there's pros and cons.
It's true. No, there's good and bad and everything for sure.
I heard from Andrew you had to endure a lot for your competition because you were on little sleep, working physically in the day, and cutting. Can you share what it was like competing?
Yeah. Let's see. Where do I start even? Quick summary.
Yeah.
It took me about 8 months to go from 200 pounds to 260 pounds.
Bro. That's not a lot of time to put on 60 pounds.
I thought that too. And then someone was telling me that you could do that in 3 months. And I was like, okay, I don't want to hear anymore.
Yeah.
But it took me about 8 months. I got to 260. And it's actually a cool story.
Yeah.
I go to church with my sister. I hadn't been in months. Like I was completely neglecting church. Bad place in life.
Yeah.
But my sister convinced me to go. So I go.
Yeah.
And I meet two of my very close friends now, Tommy and Tommy.
Really quick, when was this?
This was back in December of 2023.
Okay. So a little over a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I go to church, and I'm sitting there, I'm looking around, scanning the room, and I see these other two people that stood out, like, immediately to me because of the gym. Like, you're in there all the time. You see all the people, you see, oh, okay. But these guys look built. Like, they look like they'd put time and effort into who they were as individuals.
Yeah.
And I recognized one of them. I'm like, where do I know this guy from? A week later, my sister sends me a post on Instagram. And it's an influencer. It's a guy that, does that for a living.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, cool. Like, this gym bro goes to church. Like, I go to the same church. So I keep going back. And eventually, I think it was like 2 weeks later, he walks up and he approached me. He goes like, bro, you're huge. Like, you got to be in the gym, right? I'm like, yeah, no, I'm in the gym. I'm like, what about you? He's like, yeah. I'm like, let's hit a lift then. So we started working out. We worked out a couple days. And then the next week at church, they were like, bro, we're competing in August. This is now end of February-ish. We're competing in August, and you should join us. And I'm like, yo, that's kind of a big, it's kind of a big ask.
Yeah.
And I was like,
it wasn't your idea. I didn't know that.
No,
Nice.
It wasn't. It was not. And I was like, I mean, I've heard it's expensive and time consuming, and I don't have a lot of time in my days.
Yeah.
And he's like, bro, we'll make it work. Like, we'll coach you along. We'll do it with you. You can do everything that we do, and then you'll go to show and you'll compete with us. And I think in my head, I was like, this is what you've wanted. Like, you wanted a group of people to do this with you because you were afraid to do it by yourself.
Yeah.
Which I attribute to God entirely. Like,
Mhm.
I hadn't been at church for months.
Yeah.
I show up, I meet these 2 Christian influencing gym people.
Yeah.
And they come to me and they're like, bro, you're going to do this with us. And I was like,
Yeah.
this isn't like, I would have never gone to that church. Wow. If I had chosen to go to church, it would not have been that church because I didn't know it existed.
Yeah.
So that's like the cool little beginning of it. But to get more to your question, well, it was
jam-packed
what was the hardest
what was the hardest
part?
part about the working and competing?
Yeah.
Or prep for a competition.
Right.
Yeah.
So the prep itself is essentially cutting, but on a whole different spectrum.
Yeah.
Like, you can cut to lose weight, you can cut to lose fat, you can cut to, just reveal what you've done in the gym.
Yeah.
Prep is a whole different level. Prep is, you can't do anything to mess up.
Yeah.
If you trip up, you set yourself back a couple days, if not weeks.
Oh, wow.
And that's your whole purpose in being on a prep.
Yeah.
So the first month or 2, pretty easy. It's just shed the fat, start getting water out of your system. The next month, you start losing food. That's where your brain is like, hey, like, I'm hungry. I need to eat.
Yeah.
But you can't eat.
Dang.
So that's where food management came in. And it's like, I got to start meal prepping everything.
Yeah.
Like, I got to be up at 5. I got to cook my food. I got to be gone 15 minutes later.
Dang.
I got to pack food for the next day.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this isn't just work anymore. Like, I can't just go to a 7-Eleven. I can't just go pick up some fast food.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta be on top of everything now.
Yeah.
And that really, it was like forcing discipline on myself.
Yeah.
Because, like I'd said earlier, my days would start the night before.
Yeah.
I would be prepping food. I would be getting my clothes out. I would get everything in order so that I could sleep an extra 30 minutes.
Jeez. Yeah.
And the deeper in I got, the worse it would get. Less food, less food, less food.
Yeah.
I was eating 3 meals. And I think I was at, the lowest I got for food was like 1,800 calories.
Wow.
Which, how do I compare that? Is like 2 Big Macs. And that's what I kind of got to eat for 16-hour, 17-hour days.
So was work kind of brutal too?
Work got harder.
Yeah.
For sure.
What's harder, bulking while you're having to go to work or cutting?
Cutting, for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because you're
hungry.
As you're like reducing your food,
yeah,
you're also reducing how much energy you're getting.
Yeah.
Because you're getting energy from food, so
yeah,
the less you have, the less you're gonna feel. So I was getting hungry faster.
Yeah.
I was staying tired longer.
Yeah.
And then days that I do a lot of heavy lifting at work, I would get off work and just feel dead.
Yeah.
Like, I need this food right now.
Yeah.
So I would make that mistake, and I would eat at like 3, 4, 5 o'clock, go to the gym, come home, and I'd be starving. And then I'd sit in bed starving. And I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
And then I'd wake up tired the next day.
Yeah.
And I forgot to go make my meal for today.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to wake up earlier now. So when I would slip up on my routine, I would immediately feel the punishment of it the next day.
Yeah.
Where, in comparison, my friends, the Tommies, I wasn't too in tune with what they were doing, like hour by hour, day by day. But I would see on their stories, like, just woke up. It's like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. And I'm like, bro, I've been up for 8 hours.
Yeah.
Like, I've already gone through 2 of my meals.
Yeah.
And they're like eating their
And that's because they're not land surveying. Right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Like, they make money off the internet. They make money off socials.
That's what I'm talking about, bro.
I know. And it was frustrating for me. Because we'd like meet up, we'd go to the gym, like, we'd do our posing and our cardio together. And
do you think that, Because, yeah, you definitely had a disadvantage compared to them.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you're backed in a corner like that, it forces you
Oh, yeah.
to be so disciplined
Oh, yeah.
that it can almost
It
help
did.
in a like
Oh, it
weird
did.
reverse psychology kind of way.
We compared like 3 months into prep.
Yeah.
I was way leaner.
Yeah.
I was still like stronger, respectively.
Probably
But it
because
was
you were
like,
just
oh yeah,
moving
no,
more.
seriously.
Yeah.
Like I was getting 15,000 steps a day
Yeah.
in extra for
Yeah.
cardio. So
Yeah.
my body was just funneling everything through.
Yeah.
But
I experienced that. I mean, I didn't go through anything like what you just described. But when I was in college, doing college, working, hanging out with friends,
yeah,
I thought I would, once I was done with university, that I would manage my time just as well, and that like I'd just have more time to do fun stuff. But like the
Yeah.
time will just fill itself up
Mhm.
with bowl,
Mhm.
if you don't have anything
If you don't have a plan.
on your plan. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I always thought I was at a disadvantage compared to friends who had
Mm.
more time than me in that scenario. But I think it was an advantage. And for me, I was comparing, I had some buddies that could surf more. I
Mhm.
love surfing. And I was like, oh, wow. But for me, since
I'm missing out.
I had such a little amount of time, every opportunity I had to go surf, I took it.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I'd end up going more than they would because I had such a strict routine,
Right.
kind of like you, that I maximized it.
Right.
And after getting onto the other side of that, it's been 8 months now, and I'm trying to get more disciplined and add more things in my life to kind of put me in that corner again. Because I realized, like, oh, like I'm not a baller. I was just forced to, like, make a plan. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
no.
dude.
That's
So you got second place.
Yeah.
In
it's
all
tough.
In all the categories.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that works. Can you explain that?
Yeah. So, for the competition I did, it was a part of the OCB organization.
Okay.
Which is a natural tested bodybuilding division. So, I got screened. I got lie detected. I got something else. I'm already forgetting. Just to like ensure like I'm not injecting myself with testosterone and taking steroids.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's three. There were two different classes for me. And then there's an overall of 3 different divisions. So there's men's physique, which is board shorts. They do like waist up kind of judging. Then there's classic physique, which is what I did, and I'm in a little bikini. And everything's on display, bro. It's nerve-wracking. And then there's open, which is just the big boys. Like,
oh, I thought you were gonna say something. I was like, wait,
just
what?
butt naked.
Yeah, I was like, wait,
whoa. I went with the classic physique.
Yeah.
And then in the classic physique, there were 2 separate groups that would compete at different times.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in group 1. There were, I want to say like 30 people or so competing. And
wow.
In group 1, there were 5 different groups. So we were split into groups of like 6. We would go out on stage 6 at a time. We'd get judged. We'd come back.
Yeah.
And then, what was the other thing? Oh, yeah. There were 3 more subcategories for the groups. Wow. There's a lot of breakdown, a lot of different.
So out of the 30, you got second place.
Out of 60.
60.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it was group 1 versus group 2.
Yeah.
So how many times? I was on stage 4 different times.
Dang.
And it was all back to back. It was like, I'd walk out, I'd walk off, and I was like, oh, I get a little break. I can go like eat some food or something. Yeah. No, literally, I got dragged back. Nope, you're going.
What are they here. Like? How do they score?
I honestly, I cannot answer that question. I
it's
still
gotta be a
don't
little
fully understand.
subjective.
Yeah, I think
to a degree.
There's judging in the posing.
Okay.
So how you present your pose, whatever.
Yeah.
And there's stage presence. So if you look like you're scared to death, and you're like, like shaking
Yeah.
or whatever,
Yeah.
you get judged for that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You get judged for your overall physique, so how like symmetrical you are, how well you've grown or built muscle. And then I think they also judge off of like how shredded you look. So if you look watery or fat or whatever, they're gonna be like negative points. But I think it's just those 4 major categories. But
Yeah.
I'm also not sure. There could be another aspect that I'm not knowing.
Yeah. Dude, you know what's
Yeah.
cool about that story? Is that how you got second place and it wasn't even your idea.
Yeah.
Like that.
No, I know.
That's like the power of having the right friend group.
Yeah.
Which is what everyone
No,
always says.
that's so real.
But
like
yeah.
I thought about competing in 2023. My actual competition was 2024. And a lot of that was seeds being planted by my friends of like, oh, you're getting so lean. Like, you should compete. You should just do it. Like, just send it. Just go. And I was always like, no, like, I don't feel like I'm ready for it. I'm like, I don't feel worthy to step out on that stage. And then when 2024 rolls around and I'm actually going through with it, I think the last 2 weeks, I was like, I had a freak out moment. And I was like, I'm not ready for this. I can't do this. I can't stand on a stage. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
And something my friend said, he was like, you have worked so hard over the past 4 months. It would be a disservice to yourself not to go. Like, you've put in all of this work. You do deserve to be here. You do deserve to stand on this stage.
So you almost backed out.
I almost backed out. And I'd already spent like the $1,500 or whatever just to be there. Not even including the trip and the Airbnb and like all the other stuff that comes with it. And I was like, I was scared. I was terrified.
Yeah. What were you afraid of?
That I wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
Like, it literally came back to me seeing myself in a mirror and seeing the skinny kid that got made fun of.
Yeah.
Or the skinny kid that got bullied. You
That's
know, like
crazy.
you're too small or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like all the negative thoughts came back.
Yeah.
And what's kind of cool about that too is just like being at the phase of prep that I was in. Like those were the days that I was on 1,800 calories.
Yeah.
Like no food.
Yeah.
Like hungry every second of the day. Like sleep deprived, tired, still going to work and still going to the gym and still standing. For perspective, I was in the gym for 4 hours every day for probably a month. Because I had an hour of cardio, I had an hour and a half of lifting, and then I had an hour and a half of posing.
Yeah.
And just going through my routine. So I'm like getting off work, 10-hour day, going to the gym, and I'm there from 2 to 6 p.m. or 4 to 8 p.m. And just my mind was so like, it was just exhausted.
Yeah.
And any thought that like hit my mind took over. Like I had no way to manage it. And I think one of my biggest like blessings in that moment was also like having a peace and a connection with God. I think fully like to attribute anything is that without that connection, I would be toast. I would not have gone.
Wow.
Like, there's stuff in the Bible where it's like fasting to realign yourself. It was huge. Like I had some of the biggest mind-opening experiences being on that prep. Like things that I want out of my life, my purpose, where I want to be in the next 5-10 years, whatever. Like just being in a place of exhaustion, but relying on God to direct me or encourage me, and using my friends as like my support, my family as my support. Huge. I would not have made it through that if not for just being available to God and just be like, I'm dying over here.
Yeah.
Like, what do I do?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it gives you like that humility to be okay with failure, because it kind of, like we all don't want to get rejected, but that also kind of comes from like proudness. Like, oh, I don't want.
Oh yeah, ego's a Eagles of BITCH, bro.
Yeah, bro. I saw your OCB videos on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and in my head, I was like, bro, this guy, like, you looked really good, but like, you looked super good.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
I looked dead.
You looked dead inside.
Yeah.
Like, I said, this guy looks like he just went through hell. He looks like he just came back from the trenches in World War One.
Yeah, bro.
For like, and I knew that because, like, I know what you do for work. Like, you work with my friend, and I see your Instagram. So I kind of know, like, dude, this guy's doing all of that and this.
It was me and one of the Tommies. We had the competition for that day, and everyone else is like all alive.
Yeah, they're all
eating,
stoked,
bro. Like they're cooking up steaks, and I'm eating half a cup of rice and egg whites.
Yeah,
and I'm smelling steak, and it's just like that final little push, that final temptation, that final like, I cannot mess up here.
Mm-hmm.
So it was awesome. I mean, just having the company alone was cool.
Yeah.
Just to have your friends there with you experiencing it, but stuff I'm never gonna forget.
Yeah, dude.
So much fun.
Dude, I'm glad you did that, bro.
Yeah, me too.
I would never. I wouldn't be able to do the diet.
I thought so too.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I thought so too, bro. Let me tell you, going from 260 like perma belly everywhere I went, like fat face, everything was round and like.
I don't think people realize, because I take the gym seriously, but I'm a casual, you know, like I go for what we talked about, like the mind. I also want to look good.
Yeah.
And I've always liked to exercise, but I don't think people realize how hard it is to be that strict with the diet. Because I'm pretty, like, I cut out a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember I've done this 2 times where I've bought a program and they give me specific things to eat. You can't really mess up. Just do it. And I'll do it for 2 weeks, but you don't understand how hard it is when, you know, after Bible study, like, oh, let's go to In-N-Out. And you're like, wait, but I have to eat ground beef, 180 grams of zucchini, you know? And I'm like, it's hard. So that I'm just trying to get that point across. Like, it's way harder than.
Oh my gosh, dude, absolutely.
And especially when you work too.
Yeah.
That's the excuse I give, and I'm not even mad at myself, because I'm like, look, like, doing my best.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. Doing your best, maximizing time. But yeah, no, it's one of the reasons why I was inspired by what you did. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the food's in. I think that was genuinely the hardest part for me, because I love food, dude.
Yeah.
I could eat anything. I could eat everything.
Yeah.
And when that started getting stripped from me, I was like, oh, no.
Yeah. And especially when you're at work, like being hungry at work, that's usually when I would deviate from the program.
Yeah.
Is my 8 hours.
My coworker brings in like cookies and candy and snacks and this and that. And he always
also have responsibilities.
Throws me a bone, and I'm like, ooh, cookie right now.
Like, you're expected to perform to a certain level, and like you have to be like locked in. And you know, if I'm hungry, I'm like, bro, screw it. You know,
I'm a big snacker, man.
Yeah,
I'm a big snacker. Nighttime rolls around, better have them cookies.
Yeah,
better have the bagels.
You did
Oh my gosh.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your go-to nutritional food?
Oh, since we're on the topic of food.
Yeah.
Go-to. Well, okay. Let me expand on that. You talking about like snack, or you talking about like meal?
I would say like,
or
just year round, like at any given time.
Okay.
Because you always want to be healthy.
Yeah.
Kind of like, not really on the competing side of things.
Right.
Like, what's your go-to? Like,
I don't think there's a go-to really anything.
Okay.
I'd say stay away from fast food.
Yeah.
I like stick to your whole foods, stuff that comes out of the ground, stuff that walks on the earth.
Yeah.
Like, there was a post on TikTok that I saw recently. It's like, the stuff God created for you to eat, the stuff the world wants you to eat. And it was like beef and chicken and whatever for proteins, right? And then the world's thing was like protein shake and protein bar and this and that. Like real stuff, processed stuff.
Even a lot of the gym processed stuff.
Oh, no, seriously.
Yeah.
Like it's what that's meant for is like the little edge you need.
Yeah.
Like I've got everything but 20 grams. Here's a protein bar. Eat it.
Yeah. But it comes with like
Yeah.
vegetable oil and red
all
40
the extras.
and like
all the extras, man.
I see a lot of gym guys making that mistake.
Yeah. Which is fine. Like
it's okay.
Those mistakes are fine.
It depends on what you want.
Exactly. No, the goals are what should define where you go with it. But
I think a lot of guys work out for aesthetics.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong, but that's just like what I see with my friends.
A lot of people do. That's part of the gym influencer world, man.
Yeah.
Everyone's like aesthetics.
Yeah. I think those
so everyone's trying to go for that.
Will kind of. That's the kind of stuff that'll kind of hold your aesthetics back. I think, like, because it causes a lot of inflammation.
Yeah.
And
for sure,
the whole food stuff, all of those foods are usually anti-inflammatory, and you'll look like clearer. And
the change that I saw in not just my body but also my face, like acne gone, skin smooth, soft, shining. Like the difference that I saw from just eating clean, real food was insane.
Yeah.
Like, why would I ever want to go back?
Yeah. No, for real.
Literally yesterday I had Jack in the Box, so I can't even talk myself. But like, I felt good all the time. I had more energy until I got like late stages of prep, you know. But there's nothing that really compares. Like if you're eating like the amount of food you should to maintain where you're at, but you're eating clean food, nothing's gonna beat it.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna beat it.
I like that answer. I was expecting. That's kind of what. That was my mindset before I asked that question. Is just eat whole foods. You can't really go wrong.
Nope.
If it's real.
Yep.
Yeah. Usually people like to say like you have to eat this. Like you have to eat that.
No.
That's
one of the biggest things I learned too. Is because the misconception I had was like the typical gym bro, chicken and rice or beef and rice.
Yeah.
So when I was signing up for all this stuff, when I was committing to it, I was like, great, here comes chicken and rice for the next 4 months.
Yeah.
No. I was eating potatoes, I was eating steak, I was eating ground beef, avocado, like good food, like good meals that had been created so you don't get bored. And there was always something to be thrown in that was sweet. So I was having like yogurt and honey and granola, rice cakes and peanut butter with cinnamon, like all these good little hacks that stayed within the bounds of my clean foods, but also bringing in the macros and everything that I'm supposed to be eating to get to the point that I wanted to be. But there's always a way.
Yeah.
You just might not like the way, and that's what makes you fall out of it. But.
Dude, I'm really happy you said that. I was afraid you were gonna like be like, yo, I only ate chicken and rice. But that's nice to know.
No. There was always a new meal. There was always something.
Dude, let's go.
It was good.
Okay, back to the schedule. How do you approach recovery with busy schedule?
With all that going on.
Yeah.
So the whole gym world likes to tell you, take your breaks on Saturday and Sunday. Or if you take a rest day, I'm going to be ahead of you because you took a break. Everyone's always in this constant, like, keep going. I want to advocate for the opposite. If your body needs a rest, take a rest. But don't rest the way you think. So what that looks like is, I need a rest day. I'm going to stay home and I'm going to sit in my room and I'm going to eat whatever I want to eat and I want to recover the way I want to recover and I want to take a nice cold shower or whatever. I mean, it's all right.
Yeah.
But when I'm sore, when I'm beat, when I'm tired, when I'm whatever it is, I'll take a rest day and I'll go to the gym and I'll do cardio for 20 minutes and I'll hit abs and whatever, then I'll go home. You're still supposed to stay active,
Yeah.
but you're not punishing your body the way you would normally.
Yeah.
You're still eating good food, so you're allowing your body to replenish what it's lost. And I take those whenever I feel like I need them. There's no scheduled, like, I mean, obviously I'll take a Saturday, Sunday, but there's days I'll work out on Saturday.
Yeah.
And there's days that I won't go to the gym on Tuesday because work was insane and I'm not obligated to do a show. So I'll take a rest day.
Yeah. So you believe in active rest days?
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
blood flow, blood
Mhm.
circulating. Just enough to get the
Well,
blood
yeah, I
circulating.
mean, like
and
if you're having a
out.
bad day and you go to the gym,
Yeah.
even if it's for 30 minutes.
What kind of cardio are you doing? Like stairs?
It ranges. Stairs was like end of prep, like end of the world kind of
Yeah.
cardio for me.
Yeah.
I was doing about an hour at
Stairs?
10 speed. So
Dude,
it's brutal.
That's another thing people don't understand. When you're walking past those machines, you overlook that.
Dude,
I did 3 minutes today.
My biggest misconception about that was cardio.
Yeah.
I did not think I
Yeah.
would be doing as much as I was doing.
Yeah.
Like when I thought of cardio, I was like, oh, 15 minutes on a treadmill, on incline a little bit,
Yeah.
you know, maybe like 8, 10 speed, you know. What does cardio look like? Cardio ranges from a number of different things. You got hiking, that's cardio.
Yeah.
You could go for a jog, it's cardio.
And you're doing those on your recovery days too?
Mhm.
Nice.
I'll do that.
Nice.
Even just walking,
Yeah.
getting your steps in, getting the blood moving.
Do you sauna?
I do.
Nice.
Um,
What do you like more, steam room or sauna?
I like sauna more.
Okay.
I think steam room's better if you're like congested. I don't know where I came up with that. I think I heard it from someone else, but
That makes sense. Yeah.
I like the sauna more.
Okay.
Um,
Did you do that when you were competing too?
It's a part of my 4 hours for
wow.
sure.
Yeah. Nice. What is something you like about the fitness journey?
There's a lot of things I like about the fitness journey.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. Fitness industry.
Fitness industry.
Yeah. My bad.
I think there's a huge amount of community involved.
Yeah.
I mean, I've met a lot of people who've been in it. I've made, like, some of my closest friends are people who've been in the gym industry.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a great place. You learn from other people. You pick up on new things that you never would have known if you weren't a part of it. There's definitely a sense of community there. And I think it's a very valuable place. But that next question.
Oh, yeah.
That next question.
I'm excited about this one. What is something you dislike about the fitness industry?
There's also a lot that I dislike. I think that as good of a place and as good of a community as it is and can be, there's also a dark side. And I think that kind of trickles along everything in life. There's always something good and there's always something bad. Bad, I mean, you're looking at comments. You're looking at, you know, you're not good enough. You're not this. You're not that. Oh, someone's bigger. Like, you're posting your best and, oh, there's better out there. From a creator side of things, there's, you know, your stuff doesn't do good. You feel like you're not good. So there's a mental aspect of like, if my content isn't good, then I'm not good.
Yeah.
And you start to accept those
And by
things.
good, like just not getting
Yeah.
as many views as someone else.
Followers,
Yeah.
likes, comments, saves, shares, whatever.
Yeah.
Especially when one hits. When one hits and everything's great, oh, you start soaring. You're like, oh yeah, this is exactly what I've been working for and towards. And then your next video gets 300 views and you're like,
yeah,
what happened?
Yeah.
That's just one aspect. I'd say another one is, you know, you have people who are getting paid money to post about products, and the products are dog. Like, for example, one of them, you've probably seen it, the Calc AI thing, or Cal AI.
Is that
where it's like,
app?
oh, take a picture of your meal and we'll tell you exactly what's it. Like, it's baloney.
I don't want to say the influencer, but there's a big influencer that I've seen promoting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're all the big people. They're all getting it because they're willing to pay a lot of money.
And they're not using it.
And they don't know.
Yeah.
And I've seen influencers do that. They're like, oh yeah, I'm getting paid to do this. And then, they get it packaged, so they do an unboxing and like, go buy this product. It's amazing. I use it every day. Throws it in the trash. So there's definitely a bad side to things. But part of that also
and that's
comes
just because
from,
they're getting paid that much to do it.
well, yeah, it's like you're not going to turn down $2,000 to promote something. So it's rough. There's a lot of misinformation kind of being spread or woven in the fabrics of everything.
Do you think?
Don't think it's condemning.
What do you think like the solution is? Because it's hard to turn that away. Like it's easy to be like, they shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But
Well, I think there's a couple different things though. It's like we have to understand that everyone's different. Everyone was raised differently.
Yeah.
And to some people, money is everything.
Yeah.
So there's never going to be a solution to that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people online that will lie and make their whole entire life look different than it actually is. So just from those two examples, it's never going to go away. The best way to combat that is just to be open and honest with what you do and what you post.
I've seen influencers talk about it and promote it.
Mm-hmm.
And in my head, I'm like, well, what were they doing before this came out? Like, surely they don't really need this.
Yeah.
But they could still be ethical by just being honest, saying like, oh, like, I might not be using this, but just simply just describing it is still going to probably boost that product.
No, yeah. No, I've seen
like they can still help the company without completely lying to their audience.
No, it's true.
So,
and a lot of that is just admission. Like they don't say they use it, they don't say they don't use it just to cover themselves. But I have seen a lot of good in that aspect. I mean, it's hard to break down an individual product and be like, this is bad because everyone's doing it bad. Like there's always, like I said, there's always going to be someone who's doing it the right way or a good way, and then someone who's doing it in a bad way. But I just think the overall umbrella of like product sponsorship and stuff like that can have a bad connotation. I've had 14-year-old kids come up to me and ask me, oh, what brand of creatine do you use? I don't use creatine. And they're like, no way. How do you, as if creatine's the solution.
I'm actually kind of shocked too.
Which it can be and it cannot be. But I mean, I don't know.
So you don't use creatine?
No.
Dang.
No.
That's crazy.
Because for the cutting aspect of things, creatine basically lets your muscles absorb and hold more water. Right. And if I'm trying to lose water weight, I don't want to be storing water. Yeah. So I would cut that off. On a bulking phase, I would use it. Any edge to help.
I have a coworker who just got into the gym and he talks about creatine like it's a drug.
Yeah.
He's like, bro.
Yeah.
On creatine,
the whole joke of like, don't tell your mom you're taking creatine because she'll think it's steroids.
But he's being legit. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing about, I see the industry, and I don't want to say it's a bad thing, but it's a very saturated industry, and there's a lot of big names that just, they're trying to get as much attention as possible. Yeah. And they'll just go as crazy as possible. Yeah. And I don't want to say it's bad, but sometimes I feel like, dude, you're kind of hurting yourself. You know?
A lot of those people end up dying out too.
Yeah.
Because
you almost, like, they're smart people, but they're almost dumbing themselves down for this attention.
They do it for the views. Yeah. That's, I think, one of the reasons why like Sam Sulik is doing so well and why he did so well early on is because he didn't subscribe to the typical influencer, the typical gym bro, the typical like, here's my 5-second video of me with my shirt off, or here's my going into the grocery store shirtless just to get reactions. Like, he stayed central on gym. Yeah. This is me on my way to the gym, in the gym, after the gym, and that's it. Short and sweet, long videos. You could absorb and see what he was doing and learn from what he was doing. I think that's one of the reasons why he took off so well, is because he was so different from everyone else. Yeah. Because a lot of like trending stuff on socials is like, oh, he's doing it and the next big influencer's doing it, I have to do it too. Yeah. Like if I want to get noticed, if I want to be seen, I have to stay up on the times and the trending things and the trending sounds and all this and that.
He was relatable.
Yeah.
he was different from the influencers, but he was relatable to other people.
Yep.
That's the name of the game, bro.
Yep.
Where do you see your fitness journey in the next 5 years?
I think my fitness journey is going to continue evolving. I don't think it's really ever going to go away.
Right.
I think there will be a change of pace in the future, depending on where I end up. For the next 5 years, though, I'd say I am going to keep competing. I'm going to stay in the gym. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I think it'd be cool to eventually be sponsored in some way, shape, or form. Is it going to kill me if I don't? No.
Yeah.
Would it be fun? I mean, I think
Yeah.
it'd be fun, but I'm not banking or riding on anything like that.
That's good.
I think it's cool because it's a
Yeah.
lifelong journey that you're on.
Yeah.
And you can
Yeah.
take it any way that you want.
Yeah.
If it's bodybuilding, if it's calisthenics, if it's rock climbing, if it's any other sort of active sport, you always are going to need the gym in some way, shape, or form. So
Dude.
I don't think the fitness journey really ever dies until you give up on it.
Exactly.
And even if you do, you can always come back to it. So 5 years competing. Other than that, I don't know.
Heck yeah, dude.
See where life takes me.
What is one piece of advice you'd give to someone trying to improve their overall fitness while managing a busy life? AKA the young man who has to wake up at 5, go to work.
Yeah. First, I'd say decide that that's what you want to do. And I think in deciding that, you will make the sacrifices and you will make the choices that will best feed into your time management. I think a lot of the times we are fed some sort of truth. I think a lot of that stems from social media, but it's like, if you want to be attractive, you go to the gym. Or if you want to look good, you go to the gym. So we base what we do off of what other people tell us is good or what we should do, instead of deciding for ourselves. And I found that like the people that do the best are people who have chosen to do things for themselves and not because someone else told them to. And I think a proof of that is like when your mom tells you to take out the trash, you typically don't want to go take out the trash. But once you move out and your trash is piling over your trash bin, you take out the trash because you don't want it to smell bad and you don't want it to be dripping down the side, or you don't want to mess. Right? So when you choose to do things, you tend to succeed better, faster, and actually enjoy the process. But you also make the choices to achieve the things that you want to achieve.
Yeah.
So if you want to be in the gym and you want to look good,
You'll do it.
make the choice.
Yeah.
Do it.
Bro, I love that answer. Yeah.
It's just what I've learned.
Make it for yourself. Yeah.
Because we do have that free will. We are born and we make decisions on our own. So
yeah.
If you want something, choose to do it.
That's not the typical answer from gym bros. Usually they're like, you have to.
Yeah.
But I really like that. Like how you're able to, like, that's such a big part of your life, but you're able to recognize it doesn't have to be for everyone.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to listen to me. Like if
Nope.
you want to do it, like I believe in you that you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I like that, bro. I personally love working out with my younger brother, James. What do you like about having a younger brother to train with?
Oh, well, for the longest time, me and my younger brother, we were too far of an age gap to actually like have similar interests. So when I was 18, he was like 10.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't have anything in common. We didn't like the same things. He would always do what I did, and I found it more annoying than anything.
Yeah.
But as I started getting older and he started growing up, it was like, oh, he's like copying what I'm doing, and he's actually getting good at it. And to continue on, like the older I got, it's like you start kind of fizzling out with your high school friends or college friends or whatever, and life becomes more real. It's like, oh, this is my brother, bro. Like I always wanted a brother. I always wanted someone who, I could do all these things with, and now I do. Like he's old enough to understand like what's going on.
Yeah.
So for the start of his fitness journey, he approached me one day and he was like, take me to the gym with you. Like little 14-year-old Jake.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, sick. Like my little brother wants to hang out with me. Like he wants to learn from like something that I do. And I'm influencing him to do it because he's like, why do you go every day? Like that's stupid. Like, you know.
Yeah.
So it started like that. And from there, it's just been a more real mindset on it was like, I don't want him to make the mistakes that I've made.
Yeah.
Across the board, whether that's just life stuff or gym stuff. And it's like, the best way I can help him is to be there with him and show him how to do it.
Yeah.
And I think a testament to that is just his own physique. Like between 15 and 18, he looks better than a lot of people I know who are in their 20s. And it's not anything against anyone else. It's just like, oftentimes we go through life and we have to learn on our own. Like we learn day by day, you know, mistake by mistake. But having someone that you look up to, but also trust to say that, no, you're doing that wrong. This is how you're supposed to do that is so valuable.
Yeah.
And that's just a part of me, like wanting him to do well is I don't want you to fail. I want you to succeed. And the best way I can do that is by showing you.
Yeah.
So for an older brother looking to a younger brother, I'd say just keep going.
Yeah.
Learn, teach him from your mistakes and be like, yo, I didn't do this because, or I did this, but this is what I learned from it.
Do you think your brother, when you because he's 18 now, right?
Yeah.
When you compare his 18-year-old physique to yours,
He blows me out of the water.
Yeah.
He blows me out of the water.
Yeah. Same with this guy.
Bro, when I was 18, I was 6'2", maybe 165 pounds.
Yeah.
He's 6'2", 210 pounds. Like, blows me out of the water. I'm so excited to see where he goes.
Yeah.
Because he could do anything. He could do it all.
It feels good.
But he also, like, not just in the gym, like he started riding motorcycles. Like, when I started playing games, he started playing games. So there's always been that like sibling rivalry or competition. But
dude, having a younger brother catch up to you is such a good feeling.
It also keeps me
like
going,
it's scary. I'm okay with that happening.
Yeah.
But it definitely does keep me going for sure.
Like today, example, me and my brother, we went and hit chest at the gym. And for the longest time, he was like, oh, I have to hit 225. I have to bench 225. And he hit it a while back, but his like working weight was 225.
Today?
Yeah.
Working weight?
Yeah, for his sets. So he hit 3 sets with 225 at 8 to 10 reps.
Jeez.
And I'm sitting here like scratching my head like, this kid's progressed so much in the past year, and I can't even compare to that.
That is.
I gotta keep going. Like I can't let up.
Top 1%, even for 20-year-olds.
Oh no, I know.
Most 20-year-olds who go to the gym can't do that.
I know.
I'm 22. I can do that for 3 reps, and it ain't pretty, but that's crazy.
I had him on diet. I had him on gym routine. I had him basically mirroring what I was doing for 2 years.
Yeah.
And I think back and I'm like, geez, I wish I had that when I was his age. But I don't know. I think it's cool. I want him to win, man.
Yeah.
I want him to succeed. I want him to have every edge he possibly can.
Yeah.
I want him to avoid the mistakes that I've made, and I want him to do better.
Yeah.
So if I can help him, I'm going to help him.
Yeah. And it's crazy how much younger brothers help you too in ways they don't even realize.
They don't even know what they're doing.
It's weird. It's almost like having that responsibility forces it, like keeps you in check. They don't see it. Yeah. But you like.
He does it to me all the time.
Yeah.
He'll text me like, "You didn't go to the gym today, did you?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "I'm going right now. What do you mean? Yeah. Like, I just haven't gone yet."
And I bet his opinion. I bet out of all your friends, you value his opinion like the highest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I threw a piece of gum out the window. He goes, "Ew." And I was like, "What? What did I do?"
Yeah.
He goes, "You just littered." Like it's the stupidest thing, but like if my friend had told me that, I'd be like, "Yeah, whatever, screw you."
Yeah.
But since it was him, I was like, should I like go pick it up? Like,
yeah.
I
It's funny
read
how that
into it so
works
much
because,
more.
like, you know, younger brothers want your approval,
Yeah,
but
they
in the
watch
same way,
everything.
we want their approval too.
And yeah,
Because if your little
no,
brother
it's crazy.
doesn't look up to you, you know you're not doing something right. What advice would you give 18-year-olds? So advice to the 18-year-old
Mm-hmm.
with a younger brother so that they can be a good role model and enjoy the precious years they have at home with them.
Yeah. Huh.
It's kind of a long question. Basically what I'm asking is like, is there any areas you wish you could have been a better brother when you were younger, when you were 18 and
Yeah.
he was 10?
I think there's always going to be a spirit of fun between brothers.
Yeah.
No matter what your age is.
Yeah.
I will say you will reap what you sow. If you're mean to your brother, you're gonna get the backlash. Because there's gonna be a day where he's bigger than you and stronger than you and taller than you and looks better than you and makes more money than you and all these things. So you might not experience it now, but you're gonna receive the backlash.
Yeah.
And I genuinely don't think there's anything worse than having a younger brother who's disappointed, who looks at you and says, "Dude, you're just lame." I've had thoughts on that line. I've had thoughts on like, just in mistakes I've made relationally or with my parents or like life decisions that I've made that I look back on and I'm even embarrassed of. Like he watched all that.
Yeah.
So not only are you setting an example, but you're also growing a relationship with him.
Yeah.
So if you want to have a lifelong friend who's always going to have your back, keep that in mind as you treat other people.
Yeah.
Especially your brother, dude. Like he's there forever. Unless God forbid he dies. But like when your friends are all gone, when you move states, when you feel like you got nothing left, he's going to be the one talking to you, hanging out with you, doing things with you, flying out to hang out or see you.
Yeah.
Like that is a friend that you will never lose. So do with that as you will, Yeah. You could have him hate you, you could have him love you.
Yeah. That's good.
Know.
All right, last question.
Hit me.
So in your Instagram bio, you have Psalm 91 from the Bible and 1 Corinthians 13:7. And I just wanted to ask, why do those verses stand out to you? And why did you put them in your bio?
Okay. I actually wrote some stuff down when you sent me the questions last night on this topic because it does have some meaning.
Yeah.
From Psalm 91, if you've read it, you'll kind of track. If not, go read it. Right. It's a great passage. But Psalm 91 is a declaration of God's protection, a declaration of his refuge and his faithfulness for the people who trust in him. It is an assurance that it assures believers that God is going to protect you. He's going to shield you from danger, disease, harm. The psalm describes how God commands his angels to guard his people and promises deliverance for us, safety, a long life to those who love and seek him. It emphasizes that those who dwell in God's presence will experience his divine protection and salvation. So Psalm 91 is just a giant overall, God is here for you, God will protect you, and he's looking out for you when you don't even think about it. So just an overall, God loves you in a million different words. And then for Corinthians, it describes the nature of love. It says that love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures in all things. Just shows that love is steadfast, doesn't end.
Yeah.
And I think a big part of this world that's missing is love overall. I think that there's such a skewed view on what love looks like.
Totally.
When it comes to friendships, relationships, marriages, girlfriend, boyfriend. I think we have tried to categorize and fit love into our life where we want it to be. And meanwhile, not even showing ourselves love. To kind of tie this all kind of full circle, when I had gotten broken up with, I blamed a lot of it on myself. I told myself stuff that I never should have. I accepted that I wasn't enough, that I wasn't worthy, that everything had been my fault. And I showed myself no grace at all. And I allowed myself to stay in this place, in this mindset of everything that's gone wrong is your fault, and you deserve all of it. You deserve all the bad. You don't deserve anything good. And the one thing that was good is what's now gone. And part of, well, hand in hand with my gym journey, with my fitness journey, has been just learning to love myself for who I am.
Yeah.
And learning to love where God's put me, and accept that the things that have taken place and the order that they've taken place has been to show me that I'm more than just some guy.
Yeah.
That I am a child of God.
Mm-hmm.
I am a son of God. And just under that umbrella, I have important roles that are supposed to take place. And I have a purpose beyond just being a dude. So I think learning to love yourself for me is tied hand in hand with the gym. And I think moving forward in life, just being able to show others that kind of a love is huge.
That hits home.
Yeah.
Dude, I totally relate to that, because when I look back at my past mistakes, I beat myself up, dude, so hard.
You're your own worst enemy, man.
So hard. And I have friends begging me, like, bro, like, please, like,
it's not that big of a deal. And you're like, no, it is.
And I like that you said that, because I did read that passage in preparation. And, you know, there's so many verses on love.
Yeah.
And we read them, we usually don't think about how we're loving ourselves, too.
Right.
And so I like how you included that. And find it.
Yeah. So this is from 1 Corinthians 13. The section's basically broken down. It shows how we try to compare love. They bring up speaking all the languages for better communication. Mm-hmm. They bring up knowledge, because the more knowledge you have, the more that you can interpret what's going on in the world, and you can really, you know, verses 4 through 8 outlines what biblical love would look like, and verses 9 through 12 kind of show, you know, our mentality through different stages of life and how it interprets into what love would look like for those different stages. But the last verse of 1 Corinthians chapter 13 says, 3 things will last forever: faith, hope, and love. The greatest of these is love.
Wow.
And I think that's such a big part of who Jesus was and his mission on earth.
Yeah.
He showed love in everything he did. He loved all people. He didn't come here for the rich people. He came here for the people who were hurt. Yeah. Because they lived in a world where they accepted that they were meant to be hurt. They accepted that they weren't enough. But he came to show his love to those people. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I think love is a very, very powerful tool. And if you misinterpret it, it can bring chaos. Yeah. So a clear definition of love for you in and of yourself, just to know, I need to be patient with myself. I need to be kind to myself. I need to not envy, not boast. I need to lose my ego. I need to act more humble. It sets the terms. It sets boundaries for your life that only help you flourish. And then taking it a step deeper when it comes to relationships and marriages and, you know, how to work around those things. It's like You know, a lot of the phrases you'll hear are like, for guys at least, I think we hear this a lot, but like the whole "if he wanted to, he would" thing. Like, we allow society to bind us to phrases and quotes and these little things that dictate what love is supposed to look like. I mean, the ultimate love in and of itself is to die for someone else.
Yeah.
And that was an example shown to us. It wasn't just being told, it was literally shown and expressed. But I don't know. I think the past 2 years has really kind of helped me change my mindset on a lot of different things. But foremost and forefront is learn to love yourself, and you'll be able to love others better. So
Dude,
that's why it's in my bio.
That was great, dude. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Absolutely.
it. Thanks for coming on. That's a wrap.
Let's do it.